Welcome back to my channel, everyone, and today we are learning how to cook cinnamon apple fries in the air fryer. And if you haven't had them, the best way for me to describe them would be if a donut and an apple had a baby, that's what it would taste like. Now just imagine that. And if that sounds interesting, stay tuned and we'll get right into it. Here I have a Granny Smith apple, and you're going to need 2 of them for this recipe. Here I have a big knife, nice and clean, and we're going to need this later. So first, we're going to need to peel the apple skins. The next step, you want to cut around the apple core. If I had an apple core, this step would be a lot easier, but you know what? Not everyone has an apple core. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut around the sides of the apple. You're going to have 2 halves, and then you're going to have 2 smaller halves, like so. Now this is my favorite step. I love cutting apples into fry shapes, let alone any kind of vegetable or fruit. It's quite satisfying. Now that you have your apples, set them aside in a separate bowl. Next, take a lime or a lemon and squeeze the juice into the apples, and then mix them. What this does is prevents it from oxidizing and turning brown, and keeps it fresh for longer. Now we're going to add the graham crackers. In this case, I'm adding Biscoff cookies. We're going to place them into a bag, and you're going to want to crush them into fine powder, but in some cases you may like it lumpy. That gives it texture and gives it more ridges to get crunchy. Moving on, you want to take 1 cup of flour and put it on a sheet pan, or you can put it on a plate, or in a bowl, whatever floats your boat. We're going to then put the apples into the flour, completely coating them. Now take 1 egg and beat it until it's all mixed together. Next, you want to take those apples that are coated in flour, dip them in egg, and then the graham cracker dust. And repeat the process. Now that they're coated, you want to put them into an air fryer or an oven for 375 degrees for 7 to 10 minutes. Now for the cinnamon sugar mixture. Start with sugar, and then a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then a dash of nutmeg. I highly recommend the nutmeg. Now for the whipped cream, you want to start with 1 cup of heavy whipping cream and add it to a bowl. Now take some vanilla extract and add it to the whipping cream. Now take your vintage hand mixer and whip it until you get stiff peaks. And just kidding with the vintage hand mixer, you can use a stand mixer, hand blender, whatever you have at home. At this point, you're going to keep on mixing, because this process does take a while. Now we're going to add the cinnamon sugar mixture into the heavy whipping cream. The goal here is to get the cream to have stiff peaks. As you can see, it's thickening. See, at this point we're at soft peaks. You want these peaks on the blender to defy gravity. Keep on whipping, guys, and we're almost there. At this point, you're really close until you see stiff peaks like this. They defy gravity now. They just kind of hang and they don't droop. As you can see, they are golden brown and it's perfection. And just admire the deliciousness that it is. Something else I decided to do is to add French toast with it, because it had way too much whipped cream, and I figured French toast would be great with the whipped cream. And you can't forget the powdered sugar. It just complements it so well. Like our channel entails, you can't forget the sauce, the whipped cream, what takes your food to the next level, the good sauce. If you made it this far, thanks for everything. Like, comment, subscribe. This means a lot to me, and welcome to the family.